It's almost here. It's almost here. Oh my god. You get this climactic scene live right here with me and all of you when this game's about to drop. 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes. Oh. I've loved everything I've seen from VII Remake. I've loved every bit of it. This music is so good at the end, and this is one of the pieces of music I forget about a lot of times. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, come on, come on, come on. Is it, okay, if this ends right at midnight, that's gonna be crazy. Alright. Alright, this is almost over, people. We're gonna jump right into it. We are gonna jump right into it. This is almost over. Oh my god. Controller in hand. Controller in hand. Oh my god. We ended the game right at midnight. Aerith's gonna show her face and fade out. I can't believe it. Wow, that was crazy. Ready to use Chocobo Chicks summoning materia. Ready to use Final Fantasy VII Remake. Right when the game ended. Right when the game ended. Right when the game ended. I couldn't have timed that any better. Right when the... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's starting. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. Holy. Alright, I gotta get it together here. Okay. Oh my god. Man, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, this music is incredible. And I don't think this is the same version from the demo. No, it's definitely not. This is different. This has more strings in it. Man. Oh my god. Okay. What a stream. I still can't believe that ended right as my icon came up and said unlocked. I cannot believe we timed it that great. What are these options? Okay. Get your together, Ray. Get your together. So it's been a wild year, right? It's to say the very least. It has been a wild trip around the sun for everybody on this planet, and it's fun to say it that way. But it wasn't a fun time. You know, it's interesting to say it that way because it does have a fantastical, you know, sci-fi kind of sound to it. But at the end of the day, it was not a good time for many people, but there was kind of a silver lining for gamers and fans of Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy VII in general. And that was the fact that we had something really amazing and really special to tide the time over with, to kind of get us through this period. And that was this amazing story. Final Fantasy VII Remake was my, without even calling it game of the year without even getting into all the technical aspects, without getting into all this other stuff. It was just an amazing experience for a long time fan of Final Fantasy VII. I played it almost right when it came out originally, and it has made a profound impact on me, for, 23, 24 years. And, when this game came out, the fact that it came out when it did, like right at the start of this global pandemic, and it gave us something to connect over, and it gave us something to enjoy and share in, and I got to know a lot of really cool people. And all of you watching me right now, not all of you, I had some people watching me on YouTube before all this stuff came out, not many, but some. But so many of you found me because of this game, and I've developed friendships with a lot of you all. I've gotten to meet some really cool people in the community, some movers and shakers, and some that are just fans. And I'm now getting to work with people. Some of the people that were in this game, I'm getting to work with on some projects, and it's just amazing. This was one of those rare games that you can say really brought people together. It really gave people something to kind of cling to in a really bad time. And the great stories do that, right? The Lord of the Ringses, whether you love it or hate it, the Dragon Ball Zs, the Full Metal Alchemists, the list goes on. Think of a great story, any kind of great story that pops into your mind. Star Wars, whatever it is that gives you that spark, that's something to believe in. People are inspired by stories, and people say, "Oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's a video game." It's a story. It's an amazing story. Whether you enjoy your stories through novels, through movies, through television shows, through radio plays, through music, or through a video game, story is a story is a story every single time. And Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake are incredible stories that for a lot of us, change the trajectory of our lives. Before Final Fantasy VII, I drew stuff, I wrote things, but that was the game that made me know I wanted to do it for a career and tell stories and show people stories that would inspire them and to move them and hopefully would do for them what this did for me. So, but Remake itself was amazing. There are so many things about this game that are, I'm going to go ahead and say, timeless. Like, they took these characters that were already great, and they fleshed them out in a way and gave them more to chew on. You felt like you were watching the beginning of an epic journey. Like the end of Remake, I've said it several times. Everybody's, the people, and I'm not going to get into the people that complain and whine about stuff. Their opinions are valid, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about the love of this story, the love of this game, and what it gave us this last 365 days around the sun. It took these characters, expounded on them in a way that at the end of the game, when the party's walking off, here come Cloud and Zack, the phantom images of Cloud and Zack, gave everybody something to chew on and speculate on and argue about and dive into over and over again and change their theories and do the new theories. For all this time, since people finished that game the first time, it was like going back to the theater and watching the first Lord of the Rings movie. And watching Sam and Frodo off on their own, and the other, Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas run off on their own, and the Fellowship is fractured, and it's like, what are we gonna do? I want the next movie right now, That's what it was. People were saying, well, I was paying $60. I thought I was getting a full game. I did not get a full game, sir. I did not get the full game. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. People have forgotten how to enjoy stories. People have forgotten how to enjoy good storytelling. People think what they expect from the story. Bare minimum, I expect it to do this, and if it doesn't do it, it didn't deliver me a full game. This is a full game. This is a full, complete story for this section of the story. You don't tell the Lord of the Rings in one movie, in one sitting. It's Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King. This is going to be Remake, Blap, Blap, and maybe Blop. I think it's going to be 4 games. Great stories are told in sections. Like a lot of the fantasy books that came out, in the 2000s, 2010s, I didn't read, A lot of that teen lit stuff they were making movies of, it wasn't one book, it wasn't one story. The Harry Potter series, not one book, it's not one story. It's a full story with several sections. This is the first section of what's going to be, I feel like, an amazing story. This first game did not disappoint. It left me wanting more. Okay, so I've talked about before what I judge games on. My own personal take, it's story, characters, art, music, and gameplays like last. I want to experience the story. The technicalities of combat and what the camera does and stuff, not high on my list. It might be high on yours, not high on mine, but this still did a good job. There were some nitpicky things I had about camera work, and that's not what this is about. The story was fantastic. It kept you guessing. It made you uncomfortable at points. Because it does this weird thing, because the game is very self-aware. It's designed from an aspect of being very self-aware of itself, where it shows you such great reworks, re-representations of the things that you remember in your mind, right? From the OG game. And then it'll turn it on its head and Sephiroth will just appear. And you go, what? And it takes you out of your comfort zone. The great stories do that, people. The great stories do that. And this is a great story. It's an incredible story. Like, you're seeing some stuff right there. That's, the scene where Sephiroth comes to Cloud in Chapter 2, and you've got the moment where you're staggering around and everything turns into Nibelheim, and I was just blown away. I was just absolutely blown away. I couldn't believe what we were getting. I couldn't believe what we were experiencing. And it was just the beginning of this long ride, and a full, complete game full of amazing storytelling, great characters, the music, man. The music, I still I've got the playlist pulled up on my computer right now. Monitor 2 right here has got my iTunes up, and it's the soundtrack. I was listening to it while I was kind of jotting down some little points I wanted to hit about this video. But I threw that paper away. I'm just talking off the cuff. No points, no nothing. From the heart, from me to you, about the greatest game that came out in 2020. This game changed, it got a lot of salt, a lot of heat, right, from people. But what people don't talk about, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? I talked about this on Schrodinger Baby Seal Team 7's podcast with Sleep Easy and Baby Seal last night, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. 1 out of maybe 20, 30 people didn't like this game. The 20 or 30 people were like, yeah, it's a great game. Cool. Yeah, I love it. I can't wait for the next one. But the 1 out of the 20 or 30 just couldn't stop flipping furniture and screaming and throwing things around the room. And look, that's a small percentage of the base that had a problem with this game, right? We love this game. This game was amazing. I can't wait to see what Square Enix is going to do with it next. The music was incredible. Every time I hear the chance meeting in Sector 8, the first time you hear Aerith's music in the game, it still hits me every time. I'm like, man, it'll come on in the playlist, and I'll be sitting here working on something, and I'll stop and I'll go, man, yeah, that's good stuff for about 30 seconds, and I get back to work. It's every time it comes on, I go, wow, that's good stuff. You all, so many of you all have messaged me about your favorite moments, memories, what this game meant to a lot of you all. I call like the younger generation, because I'm 41, right? I'm 41 years old. I first played this game my junior year of high school. And it changed the game for me. So what it did for me then, this game did for a lot of you. And I think that's so cool. I think that's really cool. A lot of you all shared those stories with me in DMs, even on, comments on the YouTube videos. This game transcends, like, specs and Metacritic scores and all this other kinds. This transcends that. All that stuff is just noise. It's all just noise, right? This game is so good on so many levels because, first and foremost, they're telling a story. They wanted to tell this story, expound upon this story, and not only that, they gave us something that sticks with you in this day and age of, rinse, wash, repeat. Get off this game, get to the next one. Go get off this game, get to the next one. I've talked to people who review games and they play, they play like 9 to 12 games a week. That's their job, and they've messaged me privately and trust me with the information. So I'm not going to disclose any names, but it's like they've messaged me and be like, hey man, those videos you make and you talk about primarily Final Fantasy VII Remake on your channel. I gotta tell you, like, I'll be reviewing some games and it's just you forget about that game the next day. You review it, you move on, you don't think about it. I keep wanting to go back and play Final Fantasy VII Remake again. People that review games want to go back and play it again. Those people aren't wired to do that. Because Square Enix put their best people in charge of this game, developing this game, the story. My man, Nojima, Rockstar Nojima, y'all know how we do it on this channel. My man, they brought it. Him and Katase, and Nomura, say what you want to about Nomura. He's visually, he tells a great story. And he does over Nomura sometimes, And I think he had the right amount of people to just kind of reel him in a little bit on this one. And the fact that he's handing over directorial duties to someone else on the next game excites me because I'm like, okay, so this is going to have like a different tone, maybe a different feel, a different direction. It's definitely going to have a different direction, right? So I'm excited to see where it goes, but this was just a perfect storm for me. The anticipation, it was 6 years, close to 6 years since they had announced it at E3. I think it was June 2015. So we're talking close to 6 years since its announcement. And it was like 5 years, almost 5 years since they had announced it that we saw anything for it. It was almost, I want to say it was March 2015 at that State of Play. We got that awesome trailer and it was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing what they've done with this game. So just happy anniversary, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Can't wait for Intergrade. Intergrade is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome to experience it again. And yes, I am going to play through the entire game again. I'm saving my next Final Fantasy VII Remake playthrough for Intergrade. Because I want to see, and I'm going to stream that when it comes out. When it drops, I'm streaming it. We're going to play it. We're going to experience it together. And I want to see, because I feel like they're going to make little changes in there. I think they're going to throw some stuff in, not change what happens, but little additional things. I feel like that's going to happen. So I'm really excited for that. And, I thought at this point, a year later, I'd be not bored of it, but kind of like burned out and be like, okay, I'm ready to give it a rest until the next thing comes out. No. The more I speculate, the more I theorize about some of the stuff that could happen and the possibilities with the new characters we haven't even seen yet and other compilation characters that aren't even, haven't been shown yet. I mean, all this possibilities for the story. It's just, I'm even more stoked about it. Like a year, it's the weirdest thing, because I tend to move on from things after I've experienced them and digested them and kind of feel like I've done everything I can do with it. Like the last time I can remember feeling this way about a game, and it's an odd one, but it's an honest answer, right? Was after I played Devil May Cry 4. I had an Xbox 360 and I played Devil May Cry 4 on it. That's one I played 4 on. And they introduced Nero, and you had all the stuff happening with these different factions and things. That world I was just so excited about, and I kept thinking about what could be next, with this lore that they're creating and all those sorts of things. But that's the thing with Final Fantasy VII, what they have done, and you can make the argument about other Final Fantasies that you could create full universes, and you could, with the right amount of resources, the imagination, the storytellers and stuff. But the fact is, they have, with Final Fantasy VII, they have done it. They have created this entire universe that you could tell little side stories in, and the possibilities are endless for a long, long time. Like, it's its own brand now. Like, there's Final Fantasy, that is a brand, right? Final Fantasy VII is its own brand now. It is a brand. Like, you can do so much with it. Just the stories, the possibilities are endless. And I'm even rocking my my Final Fantasy VII Remake polo. I've only worn it a couple of times, but I wanted to wear it for this video. And here's the cool thing about it. Like, it's got the original release date right there, March 3rd. These shirts, after the delay was announced, let me get my camera back in focus here. After the delay was announced, these shirts were all destroyed. I was able to get my hands on one before they were all destroyed, so I was really happy about that. But I'll always have this in the closet. So we might break this out when we're streaming Intergrade. I might break this out when we stream Intergrade again. But I wanted to wear this for this video because I felt like it was fitting. I think the first night we streamed Remake, the night it released, like 1 year ago, I had this shirt on. So that was the last time I wore it. But it doesn't seem like it's been a year, does it? It does not feel like it's been a year. It really doesn't, because a lot of the year I was at home, I couldn't work, and thank God I had this game, because I would have got out of my mind to spend time with you all and stuff, and you all really helped the channel grow. You helped me out on Twitch when, everybody was unemployed and my unemployment got tripped up and all this other kind of stuff. When you all helped me out on Twitch, that helped me and my family out a lot, and I'm really grateful and thankful to all of you all. And if it wasn't for this game, that wouldn't have happened. We'd just been up a creek, So that little bit did help. I'd spend the days playing with my son and hanging out with my wife, and the days were great. And then they would go to bed. I'd come down here and I'd play Remake with you all, and that was a special time. And that's one of the reasons I still love doing the videos. I still love doing the theory crafting. And I was just, like I said, I was just on Baby Seal Team 7's podcast last night. Go check his YouTube channel out and subscribe over there. Subscribe to him or follow him on Twitch too. That guy's doing some amazing stuff in the community. This was what a great time. What a great time. And I'm so happy because we all got to meet because of it. That this brought people together. I mean, you can say what you want to about the fan community and everything, but the game itself, what it did was it did bring people together under a common banner, and because of a common love of this story, these characters, just everything. The way they expounded the voice actors. Let's talk about the voice actors for a second. The writing was great. I'm sure the English script was great. I don't know much about the Japanese voice acting because I don't speak Japanese. So I speak English, and I loved the English voice dub. The English voice dub was incredible. John Bentley, I've sung his praises up and down the road. That guy turned in the best performance of 2020. Brianna White did a great job as Aerith. Let's see, who else was it? Cody Christian, of course. Cody Christian or Christensen? Cody Christian, I think it's right. Britt Baron. You had Max Middleman, who played Red 13, which I thought that was amazing. I didn't even recognize his voice, He was amazing. Gideon Emery is Biggs. Like, I love Biggs. Y'all know, like, before the game even came out and that we knew that he was going to survive or whatever, I was like, Biggs might be the sleeper character of this game for me. I mean, Biggs, bro, I liked what he did with Biggs. I really did. Then you had Matt Jones, who played Wedge. He was Badger in Breaking Bad. Was it Badger? Jesse's friend and Pinkman's friend in Breaking Bad. Erica Lindbeck as Jesse. Man, like the Avalanche members, the way they expounded on the Avalanche members, I mean, come on, man. Like, they added so much meat and so much substance to the story. It was just something... It was just something else. It was just something else, you know? And I'm going to look up some people here for a second. Oh, yeah, and to shout everybody out, you know. James Horan, who was President Shinra, he was great. James I guess it's C, how you say his name, as Hojo. The legendary John DiMaggio as Heidegger. See, John Root was Reeve. Aaron Cottrell was Scarlet. William Salyers, Palmer. Josh Bowman was Rufus Shinra. I didn't realize that was who was Rufus Shinra. But yeah, I mean, it goes on and on. But the cast was just incredible. I got to mention Austin Matthews too, because he was kind of the sleeper hit of Remake. I think Roche was such a cool character. And he was unexpectedly cool. Like, I know when I first saw the trailer with Roche in it, and he was like, had the sword on his shoulder, he was giving that crazy look. I was like, oh, this is going to be some kind of like quick little mini boss fight or something. He's going to be one of many soldiers in the game. And it didn't turn out that way. It turned out that he's actually a bigger deal. I think he'll be a bigger deal moving forward. I'm really excited to see what they do with him. And the legendary Yuri Lowenthal was in this as well. He played Johnny. So many. What a great voice cast. There were so many people in this game. But yeah, they all brought it. The way they brought this game to life was just... It was next level. It was next level. The voice acting in this game was just next level. I loved it. They gave... The impossible thing that they did was they gave voices. Now, of course, these characters have been voiced before by legendary voice actors. You know, Steve Bloom, Bo Billingsley, a few to come to mind real quick. They were, and Steve Burton played Cloud in the Advent Children stuff, the compilation stuff, and you had Bo Billingsley as Barrett. You had Steve Bloom, of course, played Vincent Valentine, who we have yet to hear his voice in the remake stuff. But it was a task that should not have been pulled off as well as it was. Now, great voice performances are turned in all the time in games, but these people had to bring to life characters and that original story, right? It wasn't like we're doing Advent Children Part 2 or we're doing something. No, they had to recreate this original story when you first meet all these characters, where they were when you first met them all. And they had to recreate that and put voices to it to what a majority of us had a predetermined idea of what that should be and sound like. You follow me? And they didn't just pull it off. They owned it. They absolutely... That's them now. The voices I hear, when I think about the characters in Final Fantasy VII, these are the voices I hear now. I did not think that was going to happen. And they killed it. Hey, to all of you voice actors in this game, you all killed it. You all killed it. And that, with the music, and it took everything to make this thing as great as it was, right? That's why I love video games so much, and just the business and the industry of video games, is because it takes all these moving parts and all these people to pull off a great story. Right? Now, not all games are meant to be great stories or whatever, but the ones I enjoy are heavy character and narrative driven, right? So it takes all these people, this balancing act, the amazing score, the writing, the acting, the visuals, the art direction, I mean, the gameplay, the scenario, all this stuff they pulled off, and then the ending. Then the ending, and that's where, like, the hammer and the spike tore 50% through the fandom. You know, it really created this divide. I know before I even finished the game, some people finished the game, man, they had to have just ran through it, and I'm sure some people did. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to sip on it like a fine wine. You know, I really wanted to just savor the aromas and the flavors and take things in as we were playing the first time through. I remember people were just messaging me left and right, texting me on my phone, DMing me. It's like, have you finished? Yeah, let me know what you think about the ending. Let me know what you think about that ending. I was like, okay. So I didn't know what was going on. I had a feeling Sephiroth was popping up at the end of this game, and I was like, well, if Sephiroth's popping up, they're changing stuff. And then as you get toward the end of the game, you're like, oh yeah. Before you even get to the end, you're like, oh yeah, they're going to be changing some stuff. You know, they're definitely changing some stuff. When Sephiroth stabs Barret, and I was like, whoa, okay, because there were little things leading up to it at that point that you're like, oh, they're going to be changing a lot of stuff. When that happened, I was like, whoa, okay, we're hardcore going to change some things. And then the ending, of course, was what it was. I didn't look at it as anything. It was jarring, but I didn't look at it as negatively jarring. I was like, my brain was already spinning. My brain was already like, what is this? What are they doing? Where are they going? I was like, oh, what are they taking us on now? And instantly my first thought was, they want to shake things up a little bit so that it's not predictable moving forward. The first game was fun to see all this stuff remade and stuff, and I feel like moving forward they are going to remake some great scenes from the original. But I think they want to be able to play loose with it so they can do something that takes us by surprise too. And let me tell you what, I'm here for the ride. Tell me a story, take me on a ride. That's why I say Square Enix. I want to see what you got. I want to see what this does moving forward. So 1 year later, this game is still amazing. This game is still timeless, and it's in my top. Final Fantasy VII is number one, the original. But this is if it's not in my top 5, it's in my top 10. But it was definitely the best of 2020. I can say that without hesitation. There were awesome games, and that's the thing. There were awesome games in 2020. There were awesome games, and people were bringing it. They were swinging for the fences in 2020. Like, every year, games just get better and better. The technology and the personnel just get better and better. But this was the best of the best. This was the best of the best, and it was the cream of the crop in 2020. So I'm excited where it goes. I'm excited that I've met all of you all. You all have found me on here. We talk regularly. We do our weekly live stream now. We talk about theories, and we just hang out, you know. And if it wasn't for this game, that would not be happening. Think about that. Like, I think about it a couple times a week. You know, I sit down to record YouTube videos and talk about this stuff. If it was not for this game, none of this stuff would be happening, right? There's this whole community of people who love this story and these characters. And on Twitter, I mean, like, the voice actors for the game are just rock stars now, you know? And it's like, it's unbelievable. And being a fan of animation and gaming for all my life, pretty much, the people that voice characters in animation and video games and stuff, I've always thought were just like these underrated talents, because you got to bring these characters to life when you're not even on screen. So to see these people now getting their due recompense, just kidding, their due, you know, it's really heartwarming. And like the bunch of voice actors from this game that I've gotten to know over the last year, like personally, they're just the coolest, most down-to-earth people, and they're deserving of every accolade they get and all the praise they get and all the flowers they get and all this other kind of stuff. They're deserving of all of it because they've given us something. Like, hopefully they go on to have lucrative careers and they keep being successful, but if none of them ever acted another day in their life, they have got a spot on the convention circuit forever because of this video game, right? So Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I spoke for 30 minutes on this spot, but the game leaves me speechless still. I'll play it, and there's just something special about it. I mean, I can't explain it, but it is what it is. We're looking forward to Integrate. We're looking forward to the rest of it, but I wanted to take the time in this video today, April 10th, 2021, to celebrate what happened on April 10th, 2020. So, from me to all of you, thank you all so much for the support on the channel, especially this past year and the lead up to, the lead up to release last year. And we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it going. And most importantly, we're going to keep rocking all the time. So with that being said, throw a like, subscribe to the channel, throw a like on the video if you dug that. More coming all the time, as you all know. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Right there. At Kaufman20XX. You can hit me up on Patreon too if you want to support the channel and support the product. Appreciate the hell out of all of you all. Shout out to Ronaldo. Ronaldo is my newest Patreon member, so thank you, Ronaldo. And with that, you all have a great night. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And be good to yourselves. Don't forget to be good to yourselves too, right? Because that's just as important. Be good to yourselves. And I will see you all in the next video. Keep rocking.